did you know that this move is associated with dying less? How to get up off the ground without your hands. There's many different ways to do this. We're going to be covering that, the principles, the reasons why this is so important in the video ahead, and of course, most importantly, how you can build up, how you can work up to having these skills that I would argue every human ought to have. I'm Logan Christopher from Legendary Strength, and I want to talk about the importance of being able to get up and down off the ground without using your hands. We've all heard stories, and maybe even know someone in our family possibly, of an elderly person that has fallen and they can't get up. It's almost a joke at this point, but it's a very true reality for many people. And why does this happen? It happens because there's so much truth behind the phrase, use it or lose it. And in our culture, it's just kind of reinforced, we do not use the amazing movement abilities of our human body. And there are some basics, like you don't need to do the crazy strength training stuff, the feats of strength that I do, but having these basic human movements, these patterns, are very important for just health, longevity, and being able to go through life pain-free and move quite well. Getting up off and down from the ground without the use of the hands is one such movement pattern. And so if you do not use this, if you do not practice this sort of thing, then you're not going to be able to do it. You know, kids just playing out there, they can easily do these kind of things, you know, once they get to a certain age. They're not doing it at 6 months old or anything like that, but it's something they can do. Then just culturally reinforced, even in most fitness programs, you don't practice these sort of things, and so people lose the ability to do so. But even if you have lost it, even if you have suffered an injury, most injuries, I mean, if you're completely paralyzed, this video probably isn't for you, but most sort of things, you can recover from that. You can gain back this ability, or even if you never had it, you can likely get it. So we're going to go into some details of that. But it's really important for you to learn to use your body like any human, in my opinion, ought to be able to do. That whole body as a temple thing, a lot of truth behind that. So let's get into some of these different moves. Let's start with that crossed leg sit. Now this is an awkward position. Most people will be able to start with it, but as you go down lower, this is where more flexibility, more mobility, coordination is all involved. Now to do this ideally, you're going to want to be able to just float your butt up off the ground, moving onto the feet in order to be able to sit down and stand up with it. But when you're starting out, use your hands. One before and one after, and use them as little as you possibly can. You can then start to use one hand and see how that goes. Something else you can do, you might just lose it here, but from the bottom, can we use momentum to get onto the feet and stand up? So that is something that you can try. Now I do want to mention this is an odd position. If you're really overweight, you've never done anything like this before, then this could hurt your knees. And it's weird on the ankles too. This is an awkward body position, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily bad or dangerous. The human body is anti-fragile. What that means is that if you develop the ability to do such things as this, you're actually making your body not just more resilient, but better adapted to the challenges it faces, i.e. less likely to get hurt. But the body is anti-fragile up to a point, meaning you pass that point, you can get into the fragile territory. That's where you end up hurting yourself. So the cross leg sit to stand is just one possible move. Let's look at some other things we could do. For instance, just a normal squat and sitting down. Now most people aren't just going to be able to come to the feet like this, but well, if we roll back and use momentum a little bit there as well. What if we, from this position, switch where our legs are, come to a shin box, stand up, and lunge up and down. And here, we can do a couple things. We can bring up on the toes, come to a squat and up. We can do something more advanced, like from the seiza position, jumping up. There are nearly infinite ways that we can work from getting down onto the ground and up. Only some of them will be without the hands. There are some fun ways we can use our hands and really take things further as well. But in general, those concepts of using your hands for as much support as you need is going to be really helpful, then also using momentum in your body. Besides that, just the basics of working on a full body weight squat, whether in a flat-footed position or a up on the toes position, these are going to be helpful and allow you to start work on some of those more awkward positions as well. If you'd like more information on this subject, I put together a course called the Stand Up Challenge. It details 52 different ways to get down and up off the ground, some with the hands, some without, but going through all different positions within working with the human body, laying down on its back, on its front, sides, all sorts of different things like that. And these start at some pretty easy stuff going up to very advanced. And if you need us take a step back from that, just the basics of bodyweight training, I have a free download for you, the Ultimate Bodyweight Template, that is going to help you to develop things like the squat ability, push-ups, pull-ups, all that sort of stuff. So you can check that out. I'll have links below this video.